It's time for some outrageous predictions, Ohio State, Tennessee. This is already outrageous. There are so many records that are going to be broken in Saturday's game. The first completed pass will be the longest pass ever in a postseason game in Ohio State history. It'll be the longest.
A first-round playoff game, not a postseason.
No. Jerry, the SID was talking about they're going to have to create a whole different stat because it's postseason. This is never – because it's not a bowl game. So it's its own thing. The national championship game is not a bowl game either. It's its own thing. So these are going to be records. It's a record-breaking Saturday. I'm Steven. That's Stefan. That's Andrew. And we're here with our outrageous predictions. Where are you going first with your record-breaking, Andrew?
We're going to look back for our record-breaking. Quinshon Judkins had 3.8 yards a carry against Michigan. Trevion Henderson had 2.1 yards a carry. I believe those are correct. If not, they're flipped. Ohio State, their two running backs and any receivers are going to average 5 yards a carry against Tennessee. They're going to run the ball effectively when they do it. I do not think it's going to be a lot. I do not think it's going to be, I do not think Ohio State is going to major in the run game. But I think what they're going to do is they're going to throw it so much that it keeps Tennessee's defense off balance. I think it's going to keep Tennessee's defense having to drop a bunch of players in coverage. I think Tennessee's going to be so worried about what Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka and Carnell Tate and everybody's doing in the passing attack. I think it's going to make sense for Trevion Henderson to slip 5 yards on a draw here and there, for Quinshon Judkins to be handed an edge run. I guess maybe those can be flipped, and you have those running backs get 5 yards a carry. I think there's not going to be quantity in the running game, but I think there might be quality because I think Ohio State knows exactly what they have to do on Saturday against Tennessee. Ryan Day talked about this, where it's like, oh well, there's still the same mentality with the offensive line, ... but schematically you have to change up some things, which is basically code for him saying, we're going to throw the rock. We're going to throw it all over the yard. But I don't think they're going to entirely abandon the run. I don't think we're going to end the game with 68 plays for Ohio State and 68 passes. And I think when they run the ball, Will Howard not included because sacks can get wonky with sacks and negative yards and all that other thing. But I think Ohio State's running backs, when they are handed the ball, they're going to be efficient with it.
There's an offensive lineman who is taking a visit right now. I can't see who it is, but he's taking a visit. Your faith in the run game. It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. You just love it so much, Chip Kelly. Stefan, where you going?
I knew one of us was going to go with the run game, and I knew it was going to be Andrew in these outrageous predictions, even though I joked about it earlier this week. So I'm going to stick with the passing game, stick with the passing attack, and some of this will probably echo where Steven's going to go with it. But I'm going to go specifically to one receiver. I'm going to go to Carnell Tate. We've talked on Buckeye Talk the last few weeks of the regular season, kind of going into this postseason. It's felt like Carnell has kind of emerged as the number 2 receiver, right? We talk a lot about Jeremiah and Emeka and Carnell being a number 3 guy. You look at some of the targets, the yardage, the receptions. He's really stepped up. Probably, I guess the Northwestern game is really when it kind of started to peak. But he was playing pretty well even before that. He had some big plays in the Penn State game. So I got him going 150 yards receiving, 2+ touchdowns. I think this is going to be a game where I agree with you guys. Ohio State's going to air it out. They're going to throw it a ton. And I think Tennessee's going to be really honed in on slowing down Jeremiah Smith and probably slowing down Emeka Egbuka. That Carnell's going to have some opportunities. I think he's going to take advantage of them. 150, 2 touchdowns for Carnell Tate.
So you're saying that comes at the expense of those two, or it's more of a reminder of why you can't sell out on those two?
It'll probably be a result of both, I guess, because I can still see Emeka and Jeremiah, one of them still getting 80+ yards while Carnell gets 150+. But I think this will be one of those games where we're like, all year we've been talking about, you can't double Jeremiah, you can't focus too much on Emeka. It's just going to be a reminder of that, of how deep they are in the receiver team or in the receiver room.
That's a man after my own heart. Throwing the ball, man, throwing the rock. So I've been joking with these two all week about what the over-under was going to be on Ohio State passing attempts on Saturday. The line started at 36.5 on Monday, the first time we talked to Ryan Day. By the end of Tuesday afternoon, we had moved it up to 38.5. And then Andrew, as we're talking with Ryan Day on Wednesday in the lightning round, he's like, line moved again, 43.5. That's pushing it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Will Howard's career high in passing attempts in a game is against Iowa State last season. He threw 48 passes. He only completed 24 of them. So you throw in that many passes. I mean, if you're not completing the 70% where he's been at this year, then it really doesn't matter in that situation. They lost that game. So those 48 passes were out of necessity. The most he's had in a win, 42 against Central Florida also last season. The most he's had this year is 33, which he had against Michigan a couple of weeks ago. I think 42 and a half is tough, man. That's a lot. But I think he's going to be 40-plus passing attempts on Saturday. And it's not going to be out of necessity. It's going to be out of a place of strength. And what I'm essentially saying is everybody's a passing threat. Everybody's a receiving threat. Cardinal Tate, you've already mentioned him. Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Ibuka, they're pretty good. I mean, they're pretty decent guys, right? Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, I think they get involved in the passing attack. I think the tight ends get involved in the passing attack. Every single person is a receiving threat because Ryan Day has said it for 3 straight days now. They have to get the ball to the perimeter to their best players. And they have to do that by air. And it's a place of strength. Again, it's a place of strength. This isn't going to be we're looking back at the end of the game and Ryan Day is going, oh, we threw it 33 times. No, you threw it 33 times because you were losing. So you had to throw the ball. No, you threw it 42 times, 44 times, 45 times, and 35 of them is because you were on the attack because they have to attack Tennessee secondary. Ohio State, the best thing about their team is their receivers. The worst thing about Tennessee is their secondary defensively. You have to attack that. Ryan Day said it earlier this week. We have to maximize our strengths and minimize our deficiencies, which means I do agree with you. Can they find a way to effectively run the ball in a small quantity? Yeah. I do agree with that, yes, because if you're going to run it a little bit, you can't be running for 1 or 2 yards per carry. So if you can do that, while also you are on the attack through the air, that is Ohio State's route to victory. That's Andrew. That's Stefan. I'm Steven. We'll continue to have this conversation on Buckeye Talk. Get the text 614-350-3315. 2-week free trial, $3.99. After that, Ohio State, Tennessee. Record-breaking day. Record-breaking day. See you there.